start counting.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Khalid. Welcome to our Open Day webinar, where you get to find out about all the courses we offer, about the University of Aberdeen, how to apply, and any information you need. Please wait till the end and we'll answer all the questions then. I'd like to give you to our Provost and Dean, Russell.
Thank you, Khalid. Welcome, everybody. My name's Russell Williams. I'm the Dean for the Qatar campus. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I hope you find the webinar informative and it guides you in your decision making. We've got an agenda. I'm going to kick off with some information about the University of Aberdeen, a little bit of background information. We'll then move towards some detail, and you're going to get to hear about the undergraduate degree programs from our two undergraduate program leaders, Dr. Fiona Robson and Dr. Gary Mulholland. We'll then come back and move on to talk about our postgraduate degree portfolio, and I'll detail a little bit about our programs that are available here. And then we'll come back again to Khalid, who'll confirm how you progress an application. So without further ado, we'll move on. That's just to reiterate, that's my name, Russell Williams. I'm the Dean for the Qatar campus. So thank you for your interest in our undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs. I hope you've done a little bit of research already. If you have, you'll see that the university is an ancient university. It dates to 1495, and we're celebrating our 526th anniversary this year. As the university celebrates, this sort of significant milestone, and in particular last year when we celebrated our 525th year, we took the opportunity to think about who we are in the world as the university, what we're about, and where do we want to be and how do we want to interact with all our different stakeholders. And we did that around something called our 2040 vision. And I'm going to outline a little bit more about that vision statement so you get a bit of feel for what you'll be joining if you come to study with us here on the Doha campus. Okay, so 2040 vision. It's not a break from the past. It's a lot of continuity in a way with the past, because when we look back at the early documentation that was related to the university, we found that several things are as true today as they were true in the past. And one of the founding statements was the pursuit of truth in the service of others. And that maxim is one that we still hold to now, either here in Doha or in Aberdeen, really wherever we are in the world. That's a sort of pillar for what we're trying to achieve. But we've looked at some more specifics, and I'm going to talk about some of those specifics now. If we have the next slide. Okay, so the 2040 vision looked to try and add a little bit more specifics and definition to that pursuit of knowledge in the service of others. And of course, what we are about as an education institution is teaching and learning excellence and research excellence, and also connecting research with teaching and learning. And if you come to study here at the university, you'll be taught by a well-established, well-qualified faculty who are actively engaged in scholarship as well as teaching. They've got a multitude of experiences to bring to the classroom, both academic, industry and research, and you'll experience that together. We're also have as one of our pillars inclusivity. We welcome students, staff and partners from all different types of background, and you'll experience some of that when you study on the campus in Doha, because you'll get to meet faculty that come from Aberdeen, and you'll see that Aberdeen is an international university, not just with an international student population, but with an international faculty as well. And I think Gary will be telling you a little bit more about the international experience you can have here with some of the faculty here in Doha. We're also, one of the key things for the university is interdisciplinarity. And I'm going to say a little bit more about that when I get to the next slide, but this really means straddling or crossing or bringing together of what traditionally has been two different functional areas of knowledge. And we think this is really important because by sharing and collaborating inside a discipline, but also across disciplines, we get new kinds of knowledge and we can bring forth innovation, the kind of innovation that organizations want. All of this effort that we're doing is directed to some of the big challenges of our day, of the times that we face. So we're working together to address those challenges, and those challenges are also interdisciplinary, and I'll say a little bit more about those on the next slide. I've said about the international orientation of the university in terms of the staff. Let me give you a little bit of detail about the student body. In Aberdeen, we have students from over 120 different nationalities studying on the campus. That makes it international. The faculty in the business school, for example, on the Aberdeen campus come from about 40 different nationalities. So it's a very international experience that you're having. And the curriculum has an international outlook as well. Now, finally, we're also have as a pillar sustainability. We're interested in our impact in the world. We want to make a positive impact in terms of knowledge generation and knowledge impact, but also the way that we conduct ourselves. We want to minimize our impact on the physical planet, and that's important for us. But as a last aspect to that, actually, we're also about caring and nurturing for our student population and our staff. And you'll see some of that at the moment when we come to look at the video in a minute about how we're dealing with the current pandemic situation. So about those interdisciplinary challenges, just a quick word. Aberdeen has a lot in common with Doha and Qatar. Aberdeen is the energy capital of Europe. It hosts major energy majors. We have, for example, Shell and BP with their European headquarters in Aberdeen, and a multitude of other major energy players. I've actually deliberately moved away from saying oil and gas companies, because former oil and gas companies have transitioned themselves to energy companies, because they recognize that whilst hydrocarbons are going to be really important still, and they are important now, we're increasingly looking at the energy mix and having different types of energy in that mix. So energy transition, they are big parts of the University of Aberdeen. I'll move down to one of the bottom ones for the moment, which is about data and artificial intelligence. Aberdeen University is one of the first universities in the UK to have a computing degree, but what we've recognized is the importance of people who study computing looking at the kind of problems that the power of computing can solve. And likewise, people that study business need to look to computing to understand the power of this facility to enable them to gather information, structure it, interpret it, and deliver it to the right people, the decision makers, at the right, those right people at the right time and in the right format. So data and artificial intelligence, those are really big pillars for the university now, and they will be for sure for going forward. Other key pillars for us are environment and biodiversity. Well, that actually for the university was important before really the big hydrocarbons boom in the 1970s, but it's continued as an important thread for us at the university. What happens on our planet and how we manage humans' interaction with it. I've said a little bit about social inclusion in the former presentation, but social inclusion and cultural diversity, those are really key for the university as well. And studying business, perhaps, if you're electing to do that, you'll be incorporating a lot about diversity and inclusion in your curriculum. And finally, with sort of historical reasons, the university has had an independent and then an incorporated, and now a fully incorporated unit on health, nutrition and well-being. So it's about having obviously an informed and intelligent and a capable workforce, but one that's also healthy as well. So this overview provides you a little bit about what the university is about and how we're focusing our endeavour. But what I want to stress before we move on is that with you, the student body or the future student body, our real purpose is to qualify you to be the managers and leaders of the future, and to be able to make real impact and positive change through the knowledge understanding and skills that you gain at the university. And that's really, really important for us, equipping you for today and tomorrow, and whatever that world of work is going to look like. So I hope you find the rest of this open day informative and helpful in deciding your future career path. If you have questions as you're listening to various presentations, you can pop them in the chat facility on the side. Various colleagues are there and they will answer your questions. I'll also run through some of the questions at the end, and maybe we might have an opportunity to take any late chat questions at the end of the presentation. But thank you again for your interest in the University of Aberdeen. I think we're going to go to watching a video now. Let me just check. Next slide.
Founded in 1495, the University of Aberdeen has a proud tradition of excellence which continues into its 6th century. In 2020, we celebrate 525 years and look back at some amazing milestones from our past. (1495). Bishop William Elphinston establishes King's College to be open to all and dedicated to the pursuit of truth in the service of others. It's opened in 1505 with 36 staff and students studying arts and divinity. In 1497, King's College becomes the first in the English-speaking world to establish a chair of medicine. And in 1500, work begins on building King's Chapel, which would be completed and consecrated in 1509. Moving forward to the 17th century, the first separated divinity chair is established in 1616 at Marshall, held by Robert Barron, who's considered a saint of the Scottish Episcopal Church. 1788, James McGrigor graduates from the university. He later becomes a military surgeon, largely responsible for the creation of the Royal Army Medical Corps. The 19th century brought many achievements. In 1861, the world's first colour photograph is developed by James Clerk Maxwell, Professor of Natural Philosophy at Marshall College between 1856 and 1860. A few years later, in 1865, Patrick Manson graduates from King's College. He goes on to discover the link between mosquitoes and the spread of malaria and is dubbed the father of tropical medicine. 1882, university graduate Alexander Ogston is appointed Regius Professor in Surgery and later introduces antiseptic surgery at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. In 1892, the university opens all faculties to women, and in 1894, the first 20 female students begin their studies. 4 women graduate in arts in 1898, and by the following year, women make up a quarter of the faculty. In 1903, Dr. Isabel Kerr graduates with a Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, and in 1911, opens a centre in India to help cure leprosy. Just before the turn of the century, in 1898, Anne Cruikshank bequeaths land to the university, which becomes the Cruikshank Botanic Garden. In 1913. The Rowett Institute is founded by Sir John Boyd Orr, who goes on to win a Nobel Peace Prize for his research into nutrition. In 1915, Nan Shepherd graduates from the university and goes on to become one of Scotland's most celebrated writers of prose and poetry. In 1923, Aberdeen medical graduate J.J.R. MacLeod was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work on the discovery of insulin. He later became Regius Professor of Physiology at the university. 1946. Reginald V. Jones becomes Chair of Natural Philosophy until 1981. He played a key role in Britain's defence during World War II as MI6's principal scientific advisor. In 1952, biochemist Richard Singh is awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. Built by Professor James Hutchison and his team, the Mark I MRI scanner, the first of its kind, successfully scans its first patient in 1980. 1990. The university establishes the UK's first chair of safety engineering to respond to the current and future needs of the energy industry, both onshore and offshore. 1995 was our 500th birthday, and to celebrate, the university establishes the Elphinstone Institute, a centre for the study of ethnology, folklore and ethnomusicology. Team Aberdeen University Racing was established in 2007 by a group of 10 undergraduate engineers of various disciplines. The team's goal each year is to design and build a single-seat race car to compete at Silverstone. The Sir Duncan Rice Library was opened by Queen Elizabeth in 2012. It's gone on to win a number of architectural awards. In 2015, Dr. Gordon Noble and his Northern Picts project team uncover Scotland's oldest Pictish fort during an archaeological dig on the Aberdeenshire coast. The university opens a campus in Qatar in 2017, making it the first UK university to have a dedicated campus in the Gulf state offering mainstream degrees. And in 2018, the university is presented with the prestigious Queen's Anniversary Prize for Higher and Further Education at a ceremony in Buckingham Palace. Last year, the university was named Scottish University of the Year by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide 2019. The last 525 years are full of remarkable achievements, and we look forward to what we'll accomplish over the coming millennia.
AFG College with the University of Aberdeen is ready to welcome students for the academic year 2020 to 2021. In creating a safe and enjoyable campus experience for our students, we are committed to providing you with physical distancing measures, and enhanced hygiene procedures will be in place to help protect our community. Our team will be available to help you at every step of your journey. Our support services are currently operating, offering impartial and confidential advice on a range of issues, including personal, academic, and more. Our students are our main priority. We're adapting our teaching spaces, library, student spaces, and gyms in line with physical distancing guidelines, so you can still enjoy campus life and the sense of community. We understand how important on-campus learning is to you. We will ensure you receive the same high-quality Aberdeen student experience, albeit delivered differently, bringing you world-class education. Your safety is our concern.
Okay, thank you very much. So a little insight into the history of the university with some major achievements under its belt, and we're carrying on with those achievements today, and perhaps they're not as well known but plenty of scientific inventions are coming out of the different schools that we have in the university. 2017 was a very big year for the year because it was the year that we established a campus here in Qatar, and it's a very proud moment. We've had our first graduates from the university, and we hope that you will become part of that community with us if you choose to study. We're sitting in an existing campus at the moment, but because of our ambition and the ambition of our partner, we're looking towards a new campus that should be open in 2022, and this will be a purpose-built brand new campus, and we'll be hosting more of the schools from the university here in Qatar, and that will be engineering, natural and computer science, law and medical sciences. So exciting times ahead here in Doha if you choose to come and study with us at the University of Aberdeen. What do our degree programs offer? I'm going to pass over this relatively quickly because I know Dr. Mulholland will be covering some of this for you, but we're offering you professional and personal development through lectures and tutorials delivered by subject experts and typically qualified teachers as well. Guest speaker series to connect some of your academic studies further with the market and other interests that are associated to the degrees. You'll be connecting or have connections with some of the faculty in Aberdeen. Previously they've travelled here, but we're working collaboratively with them using computer mediated environments. We've got a research and community engagement program here. There are extracurricular activities for students, and we have a students' union association that is very strong and active here on the campus. And one key part for you is that as a part of your studies, you'll have the opportunity to study in Aberdeen University. It's typically for one semester or even 2 semesters in your 3rd year of study. So it's a comprehensive offer for you about the holistic development as an individual. Just a couple of other points. The degree that you study here when you come to study with us is exactly the same degree as the students studying in Aberdeen. It's the same courses or the same modules, the same assessments issued at the same time. It's the same graduation. And there was a ceremony in Aberdeen and a ceremony in Qatar. At the moment they're sort of postponed, but typically students can attend either or both. You will make new friends, you'll meet lots of new colleagues, and there'll be lots of opportunities for you coming to study on the campus. We're offering, in essence, a world-class education from a high quality, a highly reputable university. Okay, so now it's to the detail, and we're going to look at some of the undergraduate degree programs with Dr. Fiona Robson and Dr. Gary Mulholland. Thank you very much.
Okay, so assalamu alaikum. Welcome to AFG College with the University of Aberdeen. My name is Dr. Gary Mulholland, and my colleague who will also be talking to you today is Dr. Fiona Robson. I guess what Russell has summarised quite effectively there is that Aberdeen University, 526 years of history. That's got to mean something, doesn't it? And I think when you ask your parents or your friends about the quality of their university, there are not many universities that are 526 years old, and that brings with it a special quality and status, I think. But also AFG College is 4 years old as an institution, but they are very ambitious about ensuring that they are also state of the art, and they will also build a world-class reputation. And when you come to join us, one thing you'll notice is that the staff that work here are being drawn from the best institutions of the world, and these are often American, British, European, Australian institutes. So I think it's a nice mix in which, as a consequence of that nice mix, you as a student will get the chance to feel the full experience and benefits of a 526-year-old university, but also delivered in a very contemporary, modern and sensitive way to students here in Qatar. So here are two of our students, one of the first that graduated. This is what you will look like at the end of your journey. Your journey will start hopefully in September with us, and you'll work your way over a period of 2, 3 or 4 years, depending on the programme and the entry level that you come to. But as you join university, what you'll notice is everything about it is Aberdeen University delivered in the AFG way. And what that means is that you will have an Aberdeen University email address, you'll have classrooms where you access the Aberdeen University learning environments, as Russell has said, your assessments, the time of those assessments, and the materials that we'll use are often exactly the same or very similar to those at Aberdeen University. And when you finish, you can wear your Aberdeen University gowns in Aberdeen, as both Hassan and Bashar have done here. So my name is Gary Mulholland. I'm the Head of Discipline for Accounting, Finance and Economics. I'm responsible for the undergraduate Accounting and Finance degree, and my colleague Dr. Fiona Robson will be talking about the business management programs. Fiona and I lead teams of experienced teaching and research active professionals drawn from across the world, almost without exception with UK masters or doctoral degrees, so very experienced and also very motivated to deliver in an AFG way here in Qatar. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, and maybe that's important about the Scottish education system, is it is slightly different from England in the sense that typically these are 4-year programmes. And as a consequence of that 4-year programme, and also as a consequence of the fact that the Scottish education system has that heritage of particularly the ancient universities, when you graduate from AFG College, you'll graduate with a Masters of Arts in your subject area. Next slide, please. So you'll graduate, for example, in a Master of Arts in Business Management, or you'll graduate with a Master of Arts in Accounting and Finance, or it might be a Master of Arts in Business Management and Information Systems, or International Relations, or Legal Studies. Effectively, this is quite a unique achievement for you, because even though the degree in principle is equivalent to a typical UK bachelor's degree, you will be able to use the initials MA after your name. Next slide, please. So very briefly, before Fiona takes you through the detail, the principle of our 4-year programmes are ones in which all students will study very similar subjects in the first year. These are preparing you to be a student, preparing you to be a critical thinker, preparing you to be a researcher, preparing you to think independently in an academic way. And so in your semester 1 and semester 2, you'll be working with other students across the university, both in accounting and finance or business management, and you'll be learning together as a community of practice, developing sets of skills that enable you to be effective learners. Throughout your second and third year, then, what will happen is you'll increasingly specialise. So in the case of accounting and finance, you'll be studying things like audit theory, audit practice, management accounting, financial management, taxation, corporate finance as you progress through your degree, normally culminating in your final year with a dissertation, so an individual piece of research that you'll complete as part of your final studies. And likewise, if you progress through the business management route, you'll have a range of business management subjects which are specific to your particular area of interest. So for now, I'm going to hand you over to Fiona, who will talk about those in a bit more detail. Over to you, Fiona. So can we put through Fiona? Thank you.
Fiona, good afternoon. Okay. Thank you, Jad. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about the business management programs this afternoon. So what I'm going to do is run you through some of our programmes and give you a little insight into what you will study, the types of modules you will do, and really importantly, the types of jobs that you might want to apply for when you graduate with the degree. If you have got any questions about the programmes, please do post them in the chat and we'll answer as many as we can for you. So our first programme is Business and Management, and this is particularly suitable for students that perhaps aren't sure which area that they want to specialise in, and therefore want to have a really broad overview of the different areas. And part of getting a degree is about, of course, learning the theory, but also thinking about how that theory can be used in practice, so that when you graduate with your degree from the University of Aberdeen, you know how to use the knowledge that we've shared with you. So you'll benefit from real life scenarios, research active lecturers, and a really hands-on based management set of modules. In the first year, you will develop your understanding of all of the key areas of business, and then from the second year onwards, you'll look into more detail. So because the Business and Management programme is really broad, it opens up a really wide range of career opportunities for you. So you can see the sorts of organisations that graduates from Aberdeen go on to do, and you will also be able to learn from the experiences of those graduates as we invite them to come and talk to you as our alumni. So in the Accountancy and Finance programme, we are giving you a combination of subjects that will help you to prepare for a career in international finance and to study in a dynamic teaching and research environment with a range of academics who've got some really interesting backgrounds working as consultants and in practice as well as being really good teachers. And the sorts of roles that you might go on to do if you do our accountancy and finance are things like banking, payroll, finance and investment analysts, or you may go on to, later on, become chartered and certified accountants. One of our more specialised programmes is called Business Management and Information Systems. This is a new programme that started this year, and if you're really interested in information and technology, we would really encourage you to consider this programme. So you'll get some hands-on skills in computing and benefit from the computing experts that deliver on the programme, and the sorts of modules that you do will include modelling, programming and data management. There's a really diverse range of posts that you might go into if you graduate with a degree in Business Management and Information Systems. So, for example, consultancy and banking, advertising and public relations, insurance, logistics and HRM. So you're not just limited to thinking about careers that focus on information systems. Our next programme is called Business Management and International Relations. And if you are really interested in the way that organisations operate and the way that states and governments interact with each other, and considering that against a really complex background of the changing global and economic scene, this might be a really good choice of programme for you. So as well as getting all of the basics of business, you will really develop your understanding of how organisations work, how states interact, etc. The types of modules that you will do are things like politics, global politics, energy, climate and politics, and researching in the 21st century. So you get a really nice combination of business modules and international relations. The sorts of careers that our students go on to might include local and national government, politics, journalism and international development. And then finally, we're delighted to be launching a new programme, which is the MA Business Management and Legal Studies. So if you were to join us in September, you will be our first group of students, and we are really looking forward to working with you. So again, half of the programme focuses on business management organisations, and then the other half is around looking at and understanding the legal framework in which organisations operate. There's a really diverse range of modules that I think will be very attractive if you're interested in this type of career. They include private law, contract, the law of property and international law, corporate governance and international trade law. So a really nice combination of diverse modules that I'm sure that you will enjoy. The types of careers that you might go into in the future could include paralegal, investments and social worker, probation officer and accountancy. So our courses give you a range of support. So you will have some traditional lectures, but then probably the most exciting part are the tutorials and the workshops, which is where we all come together and work through different examples and case studies to help make sure that you can put that theory into practice. So lectures tend to be a bit more focused on the academic, where we share with you our experience, theory, and give you some real life examples. And then in tutorials, we're looking at group work and case studies, and you will do things like presentations. And that's really important in terms of group work and presentations, because that reflects what your future careers will be. So as our future managers and leaders, you will undoubtedly be working together in teams, and you will do presentations, whether they're internal ones or to external audiences. So it's really good and really useful that you have the chance to develop those skills with us whilst you're here. Lectures tend to be our larger events, but then in the tutorials, there are much smaller groups. This year, as you will expect, most of our classes have been delivered online, and it's likely that in the future, we're hoping to get everybody back into the classroom, but with a combination of some blended learning, as we know that for some students that was really helpful. The other thing that we wanted to highlight, particularly to those of you that might have professional commitments during the day or who have jobs, that at level 3 and level 4, there is the option of daytime or evening lectures. So it's the same content, but delivered at times which are most convenient for you. And you get allocated to a tutorial group, and then you work with that group throughout the modules. So we do expect that attendance, that you attend all of the tutorials, and that's because they've been really carefully developed to help make sure that you are demonstrating and gathering the right knowledge and skills. And we also spend a lot of time in those sessions talking about the assessment, giving you feedback on your ideas and answering your questions. So that's the opportunity that you get to work with us in much smaller groups. So they are really crucial parts of learning. So we do take registers in class. And one of the reasons that we do that is through all of our experience and through research, we know that the best predictor of success for students is attendance and engagement. So if you are online, you attend the classes, you listen to our advice and you get our feedback, you've got the best possible chance of success, and that's what we want all of you to achieve. So each subject that you study, each module is worth either 15 credits or 30, and each credit equates to 10 hours of study. So therefore it's 15 credits would be 150, 30 credits would be 300. In your first year, you will get approximately 12 hours of contact time per week. And I think that the biggest change for some of you between school and college and coming to university is the independent study that you will be expected to do. So we will guide you and support you with what we would like you to read and the types of activities that we would like you to do. But then the onus is on you as part of that independent study to do the reading and then to come prepared to classes so that we can have really interesting debates and think about solutions to some of the problems. We try and give you a variety of assessments. So that will include essays and reports, multiple choice questions. You might be asked to put together and deliver a presentation, to design a poster, or to sit for exams. And that diversity is really important because it means that even if there is one type of assessment that you find quite tricky, then there is a variety that you will do over the years. We do assessment throughout the semester, and that is to make sure that you have understood the topics as we go through them so that we can support you throughout the semester. Usually they're individual, but sometimes you may do a group assessment. So for example, you may do a group presentation or a group report. So that not only allows us to see whether you have understood the topic, but also how you've managed to work together as a group. We give you lots of support with the assessment, so you get a detailed assessment brief as well as the deadline, and then through the lectures, workshops and tutorials, we will give you advice on how to approach the assessment, and we will give you some feedback on your initial ideas. One thing that's common in every UK university is that we are very strict around assessment deadlines, and it's really important that you submit on time. So developing those skills of time management in the first year will really help you throughout the duration of your academic career. So your work will be graded between A and G, and to get a pass you need to get between an A and a D. And for all of those modules, we will tell you what we're expecting you to do in order to be able to pass. So we are looking for more than what you were probably providing at school and college. And it isn't just about repeating the knowledge that you've gained from us. We do want you to apply the theory that you are given. We're looking for your ability to analyse and critique the work of others, and also to come up with your own original thoughts. And that's why in the first year of study, it's so important that we deliver those modules for you around academic practice to get you into the habit of doing that right from the beginning. If you decide to join us at level 2 or level 3, depending on your existing qualifications, we will provide you with induction and academic support to help you to be successful. And then finally from me, some good news, I think, which is that we are rolling out our access to online textbooks, which means that you can access our resources at your convenience, and whether you're here in our building or at home. And we also have a really good library here. So as well as access to the academics, there's all sorts of resources that we make available to you to give you the best opportunity of success. So thank you for listening. I'll pop over and answer any questions you've got on the chat, and in the meantime, hand back to Gary.
So thank you, Fiona. I think there's obviously a lot of detail in there, but I think one of the ways that I would try to summarise the difference between maybe school and college education and university education, and what really makes the UK education system really amongst the best in the world, is the importance in a sense of not always knowing the right answers, but learning to know what the right questions are. And the task, of course, of ourselves in terms of teaching and learning is to give you the confidence to ask questions when we've probably spent the previous 18 years of our life just learning answers and not really thinking about them. Now, when you're here, you'll get the chance to meet, as Russell has said, many different faculty from many different countries. And actually, whilst you're here, the students themselves will also have a diverse origin. So almost without exception, the staff here have got master's degrees or higher degrees from UK or American universities. But you will get used to the idea that British universities are international and the staff that you meet are also international. Next slide, please. So we really hope that you come to join us. We aim to prepare students really for the world of global business, and I think we've all learned this year that the world can change more than we ever expected. And our challenge, of course, is to bring together the knowledge that we have as teaching staff with the knowledge and experience that we have as people often come from industry, law, oil and gas, healthcare, sales and marketing, finance, mining, real estate, for example, to bring our expertise along with our academic qualifications, which includes, in most cases, we have PhDs, 2 of our new staff are studying for PhDs, and everybody has at least a master's degree. So one of the benefits of coming here is not only will you get to learn some of the really important answers to questions that face us today, but you'll also be learning to ask the questions that will be able to help us to face tomorrow. So we're really looking forward to meeting you in the classroom. If you do join us next year, you'll definitely be meeting myself or Fiona. If you have any questions, as Fiona's mentioned, put them into the chat room. We'll try to answer them for you. And now I'm going to hand you back to Russell Williams.
Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you, Fiona. It was a pretty comprehensive review of our undergraduate programs. I'm going to move on now and talk about our postgraduate programs that we offer here on the campus. There's some similar information, but I'm going to stress a few points that I think are really important if you're considering this option with us. So on this slide that we're looking at the moment, we're looking at our current portfolio of programs that we offer on the Qatar campus. We have an MBA, Master of Business Administration, MScs in International Business Management, an MSc in International Human Resource Management, an LLM in International Commercial Law, and an IPGDE. That's difficult to say, but that's a teaching qualification. It's a postgraduate diploma in education, which you can then do some more work for and obtain a Masters of Education. I'll say a bit more about that later. Again, very important for us, the university, because we're certificating our graduates. We are, in a way, certificating that their level of knowledge and understanding and skill is appropriate for the level that they have studied to, and we're confident that they can go out and represent the university and themselves and take on managerial and leadership roles out there. So it's very important for us that wherever you study, you're going to get the same experience and the same content, and really the same knowledge, understanding and skills will be delivered. So the curriculum's the same here in Qatar as it is in the UK. Same content, same assessment, and you receive the same degree certificate. Now, the faculty delivering on the postgraduate programs are just as they are on the undergraduate programs, eminently all qualified and experienced. They typically have industrial experience as well as academic experience. That's important for the postgraduate programs we've looked at, namely the MBA and the IBM, the International Business Management, and the IHRM, as those are really theory into practice master's programs. They're designed to give you a theoretical underpinning with a vocational direction to them, to equip you to be able to add value very quickly to organizations that you join. So we've got experienced academics, industry experience, as well as experienced academics, and pretty much all of the people that you will be taught by on the postgraduate program are actively engaged in research and publishing, and many are also continue to be engaged in industry through consulting. The faculty is also pretty much the same that deliver here as deliver on the Aberdeen campus. And so you will genuinely be getting a similar equivalent experience. Okay. So how do these programs run? A program is made up of courses. Courses are really modules, and you will study either full-time over 12 months or part-time over 24 months. Whether you commit to 12 months or 24 months may require a conversation with a program leader. Somebody like myself can advise you, and it's really about how are you going to manage your study alongside the other commitments that you have. And we want you to be realistic. We know that you're in a hurry, but we want you to be realistic. We want you to get the most out of your program of study. Courses are made up of lectures and tutorials and workshops. Traditionally, lectures are about the transfer of knowledge. We might introduce theories, models, frameworks, principles, techniques. And tutorials and workshops are about how do you translate those ideas and frameworks, theories and concepts, and use them to solve problems or create solutions that organizations face. And we do that through lots of different mechanisms, through case studies, problem-solving activities, role plays, discussions, and group work. And we're also asking you to sort of discuss this as you develop your solution and also your final solution as well. Next slide, please. Okay. So what I've just described is a program and courses built around a theory into practice mode of learning. And so you'll spend a considerable amount of time learning by doing, following an action learning, problem solving approach. And that makes learning a lot easier, and actually will contextualize it for you as well. When we do have lectures on the postgraduate programs, they're normally short vignettes, small pieces, and then we go to discussion and looking at issues, creating solutions, and we go through an iterative process. We've jumped back a slide. Can we? Oh no, we haven't. We're there. Sorry, back one, please. Thank you. So it's an iterative process around the introducing of ideas, the application, testing and thinking about them, reflecting on them, and then we perhaps go back to the ideas again and look at whether that was the right one or whether we could look at another one. In all of this, you're going to be discussing, talking, working with your fellow students, and teamwork and group work play an important part in the program. It's a good skill for you to have. It's a core skill in the workforce, whether you are a leader or a follower or a team member. You need to develop and enhance your skills in this area. And we also give you an opportunity to reflect on those as personal skills in the program. So just to give you some example, a little bit of flavour, one of the courses that the MBA and the IBM and the HRM program all take is the Leadership Challenge. And you're introduced to leadership theories, and you'll study that through reading and watching videos, and you do some preparation before you come to class. And come to class, you have a much more intensive set of activities interacting with fellow students and with the faculty member. But one of the key things in that course is a simulation exercise called the Leadership Challenge. We put you into a team, we give you a role as a team member, and in this particular simulation, you are charged with climbing Mount Everest virtually. And there are challenges along the way for you and your team to solve if you're going to summit the mountain. Now, some teams do summit, some teams nearly get there, some teams get less far up the mountain. But the key thing is the exercise is designed for you to engage some theoretical concepts to shape the way that you do things and the way that you communicate with others. So after the whole event, there comes some discussion and some group reflection and some individual reflection on your learning. And that's all going to culminate in you writing an individual piece reflecting on theory and practice. And the bottom of that piece of work, the final postscript, if you like, is some reflection about what would be your professional development program for the future, your individual one. That's an example of a course that has theory into practice. I share and help deliver a course with a colleague where we use another simulation, that's marketing, but there's a lot of interaction and a lot of learning by doing. So you need to get into this doing mode. It's not the passive mode of learning you might have experienced in your undergraduate study. That sort of learning by doing, just to say a few more things, actually makes it much more engaging, and dare I say it, I think you can also have some fun while you're studying. Each of those courses, like leadership, has a credit rating of 15 credits or 30 credits. Principally, they're pretty much 15 credit courses. And as Fiona was saying earlier, each credit equates to 10 hours. So a 15 credit course is 150 hours of study, and a 30 credit, 300 hours of studies. Now, of course, you're not with the faculty and your classmates for 150 hours or 300 hours. That is all spread over the full cycle of learning activities that we will require you to do. Preparation reading, watching videos, making notes, doing self-diagnosis techniques, looking at case studies, preparing case studies, having discussions, time in the classroom, and of course, crucially, undertaking the assessment that's there for you as well. So it's a commitment that you really got to be prepared to take and be serious about what's got to be put in to get out the prestigious award at the end. Each of those courses, like leadership, I've just intimated, is made up of a preparation period, a delivery period, and an assessment period. So preparation period is designed to get you to start thinking about things, let's say about leadership. We actually have reading and a video for you to watch before you come for the delivery week. The delivery week is actually a Sunday to Thursday, and it means you're going to be in the classroom with a faculty member pretty much from 4:30 to 8:30 in the evening with breaks. Doing those learning by doing activities, having that experiential learning cycle. Okay, so preparation is important, delivery is really important during that week, engaging with the topic and with others in the room with you, and then going away for the assessment period and writing up or producing your assessments. Next slide, okay. So there are lots of different types of assessment methods, as Fiona alluded to earlier in the undergraduate talk. Same thing happens on the postgraduate. We use a range of instruments to test or check or provide you really with the opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge, understanding and skill. And I've just illustrated a few here. So for example, managing change, there's an individual essay and a group poster. Marketing management, there's an individual report. That report is actually based on a reflection of your presentation, and that presentation in turn is based on you coming up with a marketing plan for a food and beverage product for the Qatar market. At least that's what it was this year. And as you can see, I've given an example of one of the courses on the LLM, corporate governance, that has an individual essay, an oral assessment with the course coordinator, who happens to be the postgraduate program leader for that core program. Importantly, on the MBA and MSc and LLM and IPGDE programs, there are no formal sit down for 2 hours or 3 hours exams. There may be some mini quizzes, but we think the best way to assess your knowledge, skill and understanding, or give you an opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge, skill and understanding, is through other instruments such as writing a business report or giving a presentation. We're going to look now at just a little bit of an overview of each of the programs. There's the 12 taught courses that are required for you to complete the MBA program. They cover key functional areas of business, things like marketing, accounting, operations, HRM, but they have other personal courses as well, things like leadership, managing change, and important topics like new venture creation. That's honing your entrepreneurship skills. We've also got a very unique course on this program around talking to teams. That's about being a team leader or a manager or a leader and effectively briefing your co-workers. Digital marketing also features on the MBA program, and that's because I think we all recognize the importance of digital in the business workplace, whether it's private, public, or quasi-private public. That's the MBA program. MSc International Business Management program. It's got 11 taught courses. Similarly, it has functional courses around marketing, let's say, and human resource management. It's got the other important one, digital. Well, all the courses are important really, but this one has a little bit of an international flavor in terms of internationalization, how firms and organizations take their products and services to different markets overseas. And allied to that, we have issues in international management, the kind of challenges that present managers and employees in operating across boundaries. The critical studies paper, which is the 30 credit course in this program, is an opportunity for you to focus on an area in international business management. You undertake an in-depth literature review of a very specific area so that you have mastery of some very focused area that you're interested in international business. That's the IBM program. Here's the International HRM program. It's got core foundational modules or courses in HRM, context of HRM, central of HRM. We're looking as well, this course is not really about HRM as payroll or HRM as you know, a recruitment process. It's much more about preparing individuals to be an HR partner, and that means thinking strategically about HR for an organization. That's recruiting the right people, developing them, retaining them, and recognizing in essence that people are likely to be one of the fundamental pillars of your source of competitive advantage. So everything about that valuable resource, the strategic human resource element of your organization, is wrapped up in the HRM program. Now this one is 8 taught courses, and then you do a dissertation stroke project. And really it's a project, it's an action learning project, meaning that we want you to focus on an issue in an organization and go through a cycle of diagnosis, which means what is the problem, constructing some kind of solution, implementing the solution, and then reflecting on it. And that's the action learning project. Well, we're looking now at the LLM program. The LLM is a 2-year program. It is a 2-year program. It's run over 2 years. You do 30 credit courses on the LLM, and as you can see, you do 4 courses in this international commercial law program, and then a dissertation stroke project. The law school in the University of Aberdeen is ranked, I think, it used to be ranked number 3 last time I looked, but it's highly ranked law school, and you're taught by the law faculty from Aberdeen on that program. This last one is about the IPGDE. IPGDE is the postgraduate diploma in education, and it's got a very important part to it. If you qualify, if you successfully complete the 4 courses and you've got qualifying status in terms of your maths and English and a few other criteria in your year 12 profile, then you can apply to the Teaching Council to have qualified teacher status. And we can advise you a little bit more about that on your application. So you can gain a postgraduate diploma and an MEd, but you can also gain, if you meet certain criteria, qualified teacher status, which is an international recognized teaching position. That course is again taught by faculty from Aberdeen, and a part of the delivery of that program is that you will be assessed in a teaching environment here in Qatar. You must be teaching in English for us to be able to do that. Somebody will come over, they'll look at your teaching, they'll review your teaching with you, and you'll be working out, you know, sort of some reflection on your professional practice in your workplace. That's the IPGDE stroke Masters of Education program. You must be working in education to do that program. Next slide. Okay, just before Khalid goes to tell you a little bit more about the application process, you perhaps have a first degree already, or perhaps you've got a college level degree but extensive work experience. If you're in that latter category and you're a non-standard applicant, then we will ask you to apply. You'll need to apply with a comprehensive CV. Even if you are a standard applicant, we'll need to see a CV. And in many cases, we like to interview the students. We want to check that you have the motivation, and we also want to see that you have the requisite English capabilities to succeed on your program. The programs are tough, but doable. They're eminently doable, but they're meant to be tough for one reason, because I often tell the students when they turn up, if it's too easy, it's probably not worth having because everyone else has it already. So we want to set you apart from others out there, and having an MBA that's comprehensive, challenging, interesting, and it's going to equip you with knowledge and skills for the 21st century, then the Aberdeen MBA or the MSc programs will be for you. We can still take questions if you want to pop them in the chat facility. I see a few have come in and some answers are being put forward, but I'm going to pass over now to Khalid, and then perhaps we'll go back and review some of the questions that have come in. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Khalid. I'm the Student Outreach Officer and Course Advisor here at the University of Aberdeen in Qatar. Now I'm going to talk to you about the application process. So like Russell mentioned at the beginning, you as students at our Qatar campus have the opportunity to study for a semester abroad at the main campus in Aberdeen. You can attend both graduation ceremonies in Qatar and Aberdeen, and of course, you gain a world-renowned university degree. So the undergraduate entry requirements. If you're coming from the Thanawiyya system, you'd need to get a 65% or above and a 5.5 in your IELTS examination. If you're coming from the British curriculum, you need 5 IGCSEs at C or above and 2 AS level passes, equivalent to 40 UCAS points. We do also accept BTEC diplomas. So if you do have that, please get in touch with us on our admissions department and we will give you more information about that. If you're doing the IB program, you would need 32 points overall with 5.55 at high level. If you're doing the American curriculum in the high school diploma, you need a GPA of 3.0 or above and a good mathematics grade. The documents we require from you once you apply to our university are your high school certificate and transcripts. If you're doing a diploma, we need the diploma certificate and transcripts as well. A copy of your ID and passport as well. The tuition fees for each of the undergraduate subjects are 89,000 Qatari riyals per year. Next slide, please, Joe. Thank you. The postgraduate entry requirements, you would need to have a degree of a 2-2 UK honours level degree or equivalent. You'd also, if you're doing your degree in a different language other than English, you would need an IELTS of 6.5 with a minimum of 5.0 in all sections, or an equivalent English language degree like Duolingo or TOEFL too. Please get in touch with us if you have done one of those examinations within the last 2 years. The documents required are, we need a complete application, valid Qatari ID copy or passport copy, your degree certificate, your degree transcript, an updated CV, and letter of experience from your current employer if you're working. The tuition fees are as follows. The MBA, it's 117,500 Qatari riyals for the whole, whether you're doing full-time or part-time. And the rest of the degrees that we offer, the International Business Management, International Human Resources Management, International Commercial Law, and the IPGTE are 105,000 Qatari riyals, which can be split into installments throughout your time. Our rankings in 2021, according to Times Higher Education and Guardian University Guide, are as follows. We're in the top 200 universities in the world. When you consider there are over 10,000 universities worldwide, that makes us in the top 1% in ranking. We're top 25 universities in the UK, according to Times Higher Education, top 20 UK universities, according to the Guardian University Guide, and 18th in the UK for accountancy and finance. And like Russell mentioned earlier, we're very highly ranked in the law programs. Thank you for joining us. So if you do have any questions and you would like to apply, you could always call our admissions department on the following number. Book an appointment with myself or one of the other course advisors. Log on to our website, download the application form, print it out, fill it in, scan it, and bring it with your documents that we need, I mentioned earlier. And if you do have any other questions, please don't hesitate to write them out and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Khalid. We're drawing to the close now. I'm going to put my colleague, Dr. Lynn Batchelor, on the spot. Lynn, are you there? You just need to pop your camera on. I'm going to ask Lynn to just overview some of the questions and some of the answers. So she's probably paid a little bit more attention to some of them while I was speaking. And we'll do that briefly, and then we'll have some closing thoughts from Lynn, from Fiona, and Gary, and then I'll just sum up. So Lynn, are you okay to run through some of the questions in the side panel?
Yes, there were questions both about undergraduate and postgraduate programs. The ones about the undergraduate talked about whether the undergraduate programs were the same as the ones that are offered at Aberdeen. And I gave answers to this saying they are exactly the same. So the Ministry of Education in Qatar has approved the delivery of our undergraduate programs because they're exactly the same as those at the University of Aberdeen. So they contain exactly the same courses, which are the individual topics that make up your degree. Sometimes they're called modules, but they are all exactly the same ones that are at the University of Aberdeen. And they are so similar that the assessment is due on the same day and they ask the same questions. So that means that your education is exactly the same as the one at Aberdeen. And in fact, your degree certificate, so your testament that you hang on the wall, is exactly the same one as the ones that the students who graduate in Aberdeen at the same time as you will earn. Another interesting question was about transferring between degree programs. So if you do the foundation year in one program, can you move to a different program in your second year? So the answer to that one is a bit more complicated because each degree program has prerequisites of your skills and abilities before you enter. So you must demonstrate that you have those to enter not only the program, but the next year. So sometimes the prerequisites will be similar or the same, and you can demonstrate that you have this skills and knowledge. But if you wanted to transfer, say, from doing an MA in business to a degree in engineering, it's unlikely that any of the foundation year that you've done in business will qualify you to enter an engineering degree. So there were the two main questions at undergraduate level. The questions around the postgraduate programs were around how long does a program take and what form is the teaching in a postgraduate program. So whether you do the MBA or the MSc programs, they're similar in structure. So as Russell said in his presentation, they all consist of a preparation period, delivery week, and assessment. So the preparation is mainly tasks and videos and reading that you do to prepare yourself for the intensive delivery week. And delivery week is 5 evenings, Sunday to Friday, taught from around 4:30 to 8:30 every evening. And attendance at those 5 sessions is compulsory because you form your individual groups there, and that's where your lecturer is present either online at the moment or in person. And we are very, very keen that you attend every session, because even if you just miss one session, it means that you've missed 20% of the learning opportunities. So preparation week, delivery week, 5 sessions. Delivery week finishes at 8:30 on a Thursday night. Your first piece of assessment is due at 11:59 on the Saturday night, and then your major piece of assessment is due 2 weeks later. And that's the pattern for the whole 12 months of your MBA or your MSc. If you begin your master's program in January rather than September, the program actually takes about 14 months because you have 2 summer periods, which includes some holiday time in the program. But it's the same amount of taught modules, just the timing makes it a little bit different. There was a question too about how things are marked in the postgraduate programs. The university has a common grading scale that is common to the whole university. So medicine, engineering, business, undergraduate and postgraduate are graded the same way. And your work is separated into excellent, very good, good, pass, marginal fail and fail. And that's common across the whole university. So you can compare your achievement to any other achievement in any other program. I think the subtext of the question was, what if everybody does really well? Does everybody get a good mark? And their answer is yes. So we grade everything, every piece of assessment individually against the grading criteria. And if everybody in your class does exceptionally well because they've worked very hard, because the lecturer is excellent, because it was a topic they're all very skilled in, everybody gets the good marks. We would have to, as lecturers, would have to defend that at an examination board, but usually it's very easy to defend the marks that we give. But conversely, if everybody does really poorly, we're quite happy to award mediocre marks for mediocre work. Okay, so I think that just sums up the main questions. It was, how long do the degrees take? What format do they look like? And how do we grade them?
Okay,
so that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lynn. That's brilliant. So I think we'll just move to some closing comments, and I'm going to place my other colleagues on the spot. Perhaps we'll start with Gary, and then we'll go to Fiona, then maybe Lynn, and then I'll hopefully just be able to say thank you very much and good evening. But Gary, do you want to kick us off with a closing thought?
Okay, simple thought. I've got a background in marketing. There's a difference between quality and not quality. And I think one of the benefits of you joining here, and I hope you will, is you get the quality of heritage, 526 years of it, and the reputation that goes with that. But you also get the quality of excellent teaching. So if you want to come to a place where you'll be helped to be successful, and you can then benefit from that success, I think AFG College is a great place to start. We hope you do come and join. If you have any questions, get in touch with us, and I'm sure we can be helpful.
Thank you very much, Gary. Fiona?
So I would echo Gary in that we are here to support you and look forward to working with you. I guess for the business programs, one of the questions that you might have is which of the programs that you are interested in. If you're not entirely sure what the differences between them are or would like any more information, please contact the admissions team, and they can always forward any inquiries to me and my colleagues. So if you do want to know anything more about what they actually mean, or perhaps have a little discussion with me about the modules, please do get in touch and I'll be very happy to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Lynn?
I think my thoughts are around the quality of education you get at a small institution. I did my undergraduate studies and actually all my degrees at a university that had 45,000 students. I sat in a classroom for my first year lectures with 800 students. We had 2 lecture theatres on top of each other. The lecturer was in one theatre, it was video streamed to the theatre below, and for the whole time nobody ever knew my name. And what I really enjoy now that I'm here at the University of Aberdeen in Doha is knowing the names and the faces of all my students. I teach on undergraduate programs and postgraduate programs, and it is a real treat to be working with such an interesting and diverse group of people whose names and faces that I know.
Okay, thank you very much, Lynn. That's a very good point. It's a community here on the campus in Qatar. You'll see the staff on the corridor, in the cafeteria when we're open in the cafeteria again. There's plenty of opportunity to interact with the staff. Because we're a small community, you'll get to meet and make friends very quickly, and you'll get that individual attention that was being talked about. So I think that concludes the webinar. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention and interest again. I'm going to say it again, but if you've got any further questions, please email them to the contact email address that we saw earlier, or just phone up the admissions team. Somebody will come back with an answer for you, and I look forward to hopefully welcome you on the campus in September later this year. Good afternoon and have a good evening.